Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. But the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. Good morning, family of God. I bring this word to you from Matthew 24:12, and these are the words of the Messiah, the greatest prophet that ever lived, the Son of the living God. I tell you, Jesus is trying to explain to his disciples what it will be like in the end. Have you come to grips with the fact that this world will come to an end? How are you spending your days? Are you wasting time on trivial matters? There is a end to all things, and not only to small minor things in your life, but there's an end to life itself. Even the earth is on its way to a cataclysmic end. Jesus is trying to put into words what life will be like. He tells them that there will be wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes in divers places, and we've seen remnants of that even now. But here, the interesting part that Jesus told his disciples, I kind of shocked them. He said, because of the increase of wickedness, love will grow cold. Man, when you look at our world today with the mass shootings, all the ignorant things happening, people are hurting each other and cursing each other and saying all kind of vile things and doing things to people, abusing folk of all ages, you come to realize that we are absent love in this world. Folk don't take time to learn to love anyone anymore. How is it that love, which the word says covers a multitude of sins, love, which the word says will never fail? How is it that the world filled with millions of Christians could grow cold? I think the absolute interesting fact here is that Jesus is not talking about the love growing cold of folks who hadn't been loved, or of those who hadn't loved anybody. He's talking about the love of the Christians. He's saying that there will be the Christians on the earth that will be absent love. He says, because of the increase of wickedness, love will grow cold. That means that there will be some folks who had hearts filled with love, who were compassionate, sympathetic, and had empathy, and these people will find it difficult to love. Man, you're in a terrible strait whenever you can't find the power to love people. It's difficult when a Christian man or woman can't find the heart to love other folk. We see this happening in every city and in every nation. We see where people just seem to be absent of loving and trusting one another. Jesus said that the time would come and was coming, and it wouldn't be long, and it would just be a seed of distrust that would be planted in the hearts of man, and man will begin to divide himself all over the nation. It's not going to be obvious to the eye at first. It'll happen just over time, where we just begin to pick our own sides of the fence. Some ethnic, some race, color, some creed, some gender, or some husbands against wives, and fathers against mothers, and mothers against fathers, and parents against children, children against parents. I mean, we see all types of things happening in our world today, simply because the love of many have grown cold. Have you stopped loving because of the wickedness you've seen in your life? Have you stopped believing because wickedness has got the upper hand on you? Jesus said that it's be an obvious sign of the end when we see the love of the saints begin to grow cold. When we see those who used to love, those who were reaching out to love, those who had a heart for people, when we see that love begin to grow cold, we're going to know then that the end of the world is coming. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, that end is close at hand right now. Oh, I'm not trying to prophetically speak, saying Jesus coming back next week. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is you can see remnants of the love growing cold in people's hearts right now. We just seem to have an issue with loving one another. Not to mention those folks of the world who've never known love, who've been beat up by the world, and they've lost their capacity to even be introduced to this love of God. I tell you, it is up to those who know the Lord personally to help induce and introduce this world to this great agape love from a God who is invisible, but he's always present. It's good, though, that Jesus says that one thing would be true, that there would be one who would stand firm to the end. Are you the one? I was a big fan of The Matrix. I loved Neo, and it took me a while to understand the concept of the movie, but I finally started getting it, and Neo was a part of a bigger system. He knew that other people had been programmed to do what they do. There were viruses, there were defenders, there were all types of folk there, but in this program, but they all were designed to do one thing. And Neo, when he was unplugged or plugged in rather, Neo could do all types of things because Neo could see the entire system and how it worked. He understood the program. Neo knew that he had special powers, and his powers were unlimited. He could do anything when he was in this world because he had the mind to understand how the program worked. And I want you to know that God has given you the power. God said, you're the one. You must understand that you have power to overcome all wickedness. You have the power to do things in this world that other folks just can't do. You have power to get over sickness, power to get over disease, power to deal with hatred, power to deal with anger, power to deal with all things because you see how all the programs work. You know how the enemy works in this world. God says that there would be one, the one who stood firm to the end, the one who showed grit, who did not give up, the one who says, I can see wickedness, I know how it operates, I know the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but he shall not destroy me. I will continue to love even though bad things are happening all around me. Sometimes they affect me, but I'm still gonna increase and grow in my capacity to love and accept other folk. Even though folks who are filled with hate, I'm going to learn to love. I want to tell you, don't ever stop someone else's hate. Let someone else's hate stop you from loving. Don't ever let someone's ability to misunderstand stop you from understanding other folks. Sometimes you got to give people the permission to misunderstand you. Today is a day that we need to recapture and extend our capacity to love. What is it that you need to do to help you love again? Jesus said, because of wickedness, many of us would just stop loving. But the one who stood firm to the end would be saved from it all. Are you the one? Was Jesus speaking about you? Do you have the strength and the power to overcome and outlast wickedness in your life? I want to tell you that you do. You are the Neo of this generation. You know how the programs worked. You have special powers given to you by your Father in heaven that allow you to love even when love appears to be absent in everyone else. You continue to spread love, and you continue to spread Jesus and this word of God because his grace has covered you and forgives you and has washed you and made you whole. And not only that, it saved you for a better life after this one. Be blessed. Endure through all your trials and know that God is with you.